Hi all, welcome to BIS Academy, Science and Technology Audio Notes for Prelims and Mains, Unit 5, Part 5, Chapter 4. The chapter is Floods and Landslides. The topics which we are going to cover are types of floods, damages caused by floods, and flood management in India. Next, we are going to discuss about landslides, the causes of landslides, and the impacts of landslides in India and at the global level, and then prediction management in disasters. So let's start with the first topic. What is flood? Flood in general is a temporary condition of a partial or a complete inundation of a normal dry land areas from the overflow of inland or tidal waters, or from the unusual or rapid accumulation of runoff water or the surface water from any source. So it's a temporary inundation by water source. Floods and flash floods are the deadliest of natural disasters. The flood water claims thousands of lives every year and makes millions homeless. The floods in India can be divided into following types. There are around 4 types. Number 1, floods due to overflow from the rivers. Number 2, estuarine floods. I'll spell it Estuarine, estuarine floods. 3, coastal floods. 4, urban floods. Urban floods occurred in Chennai. The most common type of floods in India are riverine floods. They mainly occur due to heavy downpour or due to the over-siltation of the rivers, streams and lakes. The estuarine floods basically occur during the times of high tides. Sundarbans is a very good example where these high tides are regularly flood the various parts of the estuary. The coastal floods occur due to the storm surges during cyclone. The coastal floods even occur during cyclones and tsunamis. The process in which the cities get flooded due to moderate rainfall is called urban flooding. For example, it occurs in Mumbai, Chennai, major cities. Due to poor drainage, encroachment of water bodies, lack of vegetation buffers, increase in population density are considered to be the major reasons of urban flooding in India. Kerala floods in 2018 is also an example. Mumbai floods in 2019. Okay, what are the damages caused by the floods in India? The floods are causing considerable damage in India from the beginning. According to the data from Central Water Commission, that is CWC, 1/5 of the global floods take place in India. How much? 1/5 of the global floods take place in India. In the time of 64 years, from 1953 to 2017, more than 1 lakh people have died due to floods, and also resulted in extensive damage to crops in India. The infrastructural and housing damages were estimated to be equivalent to almost 3% of the country's GDP. The year 1977 resulted in great loss of human lives due to floods in India, with over 1100 people dying. The Central Water Commission assessed the flood damage data from 1953 to 2016 and has tabulated the average losses like below. Let's look at the losses the floods have caused in India from 1953 to 2016. The area affected in million hectares is 6.94 million hectares of area is affected by floods. 31 million of population has been affected. The houses that are affected are 11 lakh houses. Almost 1 lakh cattle was lost. Nearly 5,000 lives are lost. So these are the damages caused by the floods in India. Okay, then let's discuss about flood management in the country. Proper management of floods constitutes an important element in national development activities. In order to protect human life, land, property from flood fury in the country, the state governments have been engaged in flood management works for the last 5 decades, and a total of 18 million hectares has been provided as a reasonable degree of protection by the end of 10th five-year plan. The Working Group on Water Resources, constituted by Planning Commission, has set a target to protect an additional area of 2 million hectares during the 11th five-year plan. Government of India has also been assisting the flood-prone states in flood management and anti-erosion works for critical reaches by providing financial assistance to the state governments through the number of centrally sponsored schemes. There are 187 flood forecasting stations, of which 150 are level forecasting and 37 are inflow forecasting stations. It covers 11 major river systems in the country, including 72 river sub-basins. They pertain to 20 states and 1 union territory. On an average, 66,000 forecasts are being issued during flood season every year by Central Water Commission. Remember, Central Water Commission forecasts 6,000 forecasts during a flood season every year. Okay. Normally, these forecasts are issued 12 to 48 hours in advance, and depending upon the river terrain, the locations of flood forecasting sites, base stations, the methodology based on mathematical model using Windows-based Mike2 software is progressively being used for flood forecasting. Which one is being used? Windows-based Mike2, M-I-K-E, Mike2 software is used. It's a mathematical model. It's used for flood forecasting. Now let's look at what is a landslide and what are the causes of a landslide. Landslide is defined as a movement of a mass of rock or movement of debris or earth down a slope. Landslides are a type of mass wasting which denotes any downslope movement of the soil or the rock under direct influence of gravity. The term landslide encompasses 5 modes of slope movement. One is falls, topples, slides, spreads and flows. These are the different modes of landslides. They are further subdivided into based on type of geological material. That is, what is the geological material? Based on bedrock, debris or the earth. Debris flows and rock falls are examples of common landslides. Debris flows is commonly called as mud flows or mudslides as well. Almost every landslide has multiple causes. Slope movement occurs when forces acting downslope, mainly due to gravity, exceeds the strength of earth materials that compose the slope. Causes include factors that increase the effects of downslope forces and factors that contribute to low and reduced strength. Landslides can be initiated in slopes already on the verge of movement by rainfall, snowmelt, changes in water level, stream erosion, changes in the groundwater, earthquakes, volcanic activity, disturbances by human activities. There are various other factors that cause the landslides. For example, earth shaking also causes landslides. And there are submarine landslides. Sometimes they cause tsunamis as well. Okay, now let's look at the human factors of landslides or the impacts of landslides in India and the world. According to a study conducted by researchers at UK Sheffield University, landslides triggered by human activities are on the rise around the world and in India as well. The most affected countries accounting for at least 28% of such events over the last 12 years. Researchers compiled data on over 4,800 fatal landslides which occurred from 2004 to 2016, leaving out those caused by earthquakes. According to the study based on the Global Fatal Landslide Database, more than 56,000 people were killed by landslides around the world during the period, a majority of which involved in a single slope. At least 700 of these fatal landslides were caused by construction works, illegal mining, and unregulated hill cutting. While the trend is global, Asia was found to be the most affected continent where 75% of the landslides occurred, with a substantial number of which were reported along the Himalayan arc. India accounts for 20% of these incidents. The research said human-triggered fatal landslides are increasing at the highest rate in India, where 28% of construction-triggered landslide events occurred during the period. In India, it is 28%, and China it's 9%, Pakistan 6%, Philippines 5%, Nepal 5%, and Malaysia 5%. We can understand the seriousness of it. In India, 28% of construction-triggered landslide events occurred. Okay, the humans are placing increasing pressure on the local environment, and the fatal landslides are triggered by construction, illegal hill cutting, and illegal mining. Landslides have caused massive damage of life and property during extremely heavy rain across India. Most recently in Kerala, the Kedarnath landslide in Uttarakhand in 2013 caused by flash floods that resulted in over 5,000 deaths. was identified as the most tragic such disaster. Other example is 2014 Malin in Maharashtra. According to the study, landslide occurrence peaks during the northern hemisphere summer, when cyclones, hurricanes, and typhoons are frequent, and the monsoon season brings heavy rains to the parts of Asia. Fatal landslides were found to be more common in settlements along the roads and at sites rich in precious resources. In the Himalayan mountain region, especially in Nepal and India, many of the fatal landslides triggered by construction occurred on road building sites in rural areas. Landslides triggered by hill cutting are a problem in rural areas, where many people illegally collect material from hill slopes and build homes on the hill slopes. Okay, now let's look at the role of prediction management in better implementation of disasters. Good and accurate predictions, warnings before and during the disaster save lives. With only few minutes notice of a cyclone or a flash flood, people can't act to protect themselves from injury and death. Predictions and warnings can also reduce damage and economic losses. One notice of an impending disaster can be issued well in advance. Natural resources can be protected from earthquakes, floods, cyclones when an impending disaster is issued in advance or information is shared in advance. Scientific and technological advances in recent decades have greatly improved the nation's capability to predict most natural hazards and disseminate warnings based on those predictions. However, prediction accuracy and lead times vary with the type of hazard. Prediction capabilities for atmosphere and hydrological events are generally more advanced and specific than those for geological counterparts. The technological capabilities for prediction should be considerably better than the social and organizational capabilities to disseminate warnings. Okay. For example, warnings of an impending natural hazard may not reach all potential victims. An effort or a concerted effort is needed to improve dissemination networks and the content of warning messages, to improve prediction of significant natural hazard events, and to ensure effective and timely dissemination of warnings to all sectors of the society. For this, there is a need to upgrade natural hazard prediction and warning systems through application of state-of-art science and technology. Number two, we have to augment research programs on basic physical and biological processes of natural hazards, models to predict their occurrence, and technology to detect and monitor them and to disseminate warnings. And we also have to expand research on social aspects of effective warning of messages. Okay, so let's recap what we have discussed. We have started with floods and we have seen what are the types of floods and the damages caused by the floods and how flood is managed in India. Next, we have discussed landslides and the causes of landslides, like man-made and natural causes. After that, we have seen impact of landslides, and finally we have seen prediction management in the better implementation of disasters. Okay, with this we'll end our today's lecture. Thank you for listening. If you have any doubts, queries, or need any help, you can mail us to biasacademy@gmail.com. Thank you. Have a great day.